And we are live.
Oh
Woo.
no.
What's going on out there, YouTube? This is our very first ever Game of Thrones live discussion. We're here. We're about to talk about episode 5 of the 6th season of Game of Thrones. The name of this episode is The Door. I've got here the awesome Amon Snow. I've got JOR-ELS Alexandria in the house. What's going on, y'all?
What's going on, man?
It's time to talk about this. Oh my gosh. So, all right, the episode name is The Door. I saw these guys. Y'all have to go to the description bar below because both of them have some awesome, different reactions, even that I had. And I think Iman's was probably the most powerful that I think I've seen out of all the reactions to this episode because of the end. Which, small disclaimer, this is a spoiler-filled discussion. So if you haven't seen the episode, you owe it to yourself to watch it because it's very impactful, specifically towards the end. So take this, put in your watch later, and come back to it because we're about to talk a lot of spoilers. All right, here we go. So, what was y'all's impression? What was your literal feeling at the end of the episode? And if you wanted to describe certain moments of the episode or certain things that happened, what was your impressions coming out of this episode?
Probably like holy fuck. That's what that was probably my biggest. Yeah, just like that in itself. I was pretty mind blown, man. I guess like short thoughts. I think this might be the most mind blowing like revelation or plot twist that I think I've ever seen in a TV show. Honestly.
Yeah.
The only other thing that comes to mind in terms of like a reveal is that a lot of people probably are going to hate this because they sort of shit the bed with their series finale. But I loved Lost. I was a huge fan of Lost. And there's a slight Lost spoiler coming in 3, 2, 1. When John Locke, when you realize that he can walk, despite the fact that he's been in a wheelchair for all this time. I think that's the only other thing, because when I saw that, I remember just being like, this is, I think this is the best reveal I've ever seen in a TV show. I was truly blown away. I've always wondered what the whole Hodor thing meant, and the answer that they gave us, wow. Not to mention the rest of the episode was great. Oh, man.
Yeah, it was an amazing, powerful episode. What was your impressions coming out of it, Man?
Well, I mean, obviously, I cried like a baby. I mean, if the cameras were not on, honestly, I was holding it back because I just wanted to weep. Like, I felt it that I was going to weep like a baby. And I don't know, it was like, obviously, he's been here from the beginning. And everyone was like, why does he say Hodor? And so just like the writing, that's great writing, first of all. And then the actor who played the young kid, and when he was saying Hodor, hold the door, at that scene, and then the music, and then you see present Hodor, that was just like, whoa. And my mind was blown too. My friend was like, hold the door, Hodor. And she said it like 3 times. I was too like involved. And I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah,
so crazy.
It was so impactful for me. And it's like you had that instant emotional hit. And then Jarrell, like, you just enjoyed the craft of it. And it was like, for me, it was like this slow burn. Because I've watched it. I started watching, 3 weeks ago? And so I've literally seen it from the beginning. And I remember this character, he's like so lovable and nice. And then I've seen the progression of him evolve to being this protector. And then I've kind of slowly seen him being used by Bran and him inhabiting his body without his will. And just like, I mean, that whole dynamic, even last season and this season, kind of made me feel uneasiness about it. And then when I actually saw, him do that while in the past, and I realized, dude, his mind has forever been messed up and tailored to Bran forever. Like, it literally, his whole meaning for what that epic moment was given at that point when he was a young boy to that moment where he saved their lives. And it was like his whole life has been forfeit to Bran, and Bran has been using him this whole entire time. So it was like, for me, I was able to review the episode, and I felt saddened in that moment, but the whole rest of the day, I was just like, man, I feel so bad for this guy. Like, I literally, in my heart, like, it feels bad. I heard people say that the Red Wedding affected them a lot, but I've heard some people compare this to the Red Wedding from an effect standpoint. And I think it's because the Red Wedding was an event that happened, but this is something that changed the whole scope and parallel of the series in general for all of us. And I was like, bruh, I could be talking about that for a long time. And the whole ramifications of what Bran is able to do with his powers. I mean, that was a whole other thing I was going to bring up to y'all. Like, what are the depths of his powers? And what is his connection with the Three-Eyed Raven? Because the Three-Eyed Raven said, like, you have to become me, you have to know everything. But it was like Bran, at a certain point, was able to be in the past without connection to that guy. So it's like, I was curious, what was y'all's thoughts on just Bran in this episode and his impact moving forward, or in the past, I guess?
Bran, his whole story in this episode was fantastic. Like, it was almost like a Game of Thrones version of Inception. Like, it was just great. We got answers as to kind of how the White Walkers, or the Whites, I always get them mixed up. Either way, the zombie ones, we kind of get an answer to how they were formed, or at least one of the leaders were formed, or just their beginnings, either way, which I thought was pretty unique. And I think the moment where Bran was walking through the army, and they were all like frozen, and then like the head leader like grabs him, but like the leader actually grabbed him. That just blew my mind, especially with the whole Hodor thing. Like, this time travel element thing is a lot deeper than I anticipated, because time can actually be truly affected. So that, I don't know. I'm still just tripping off that. the only thing I can compare it to is the movie Looper, which is something I love. Like the diner scene, and Looper's just like, but that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Amon? What was your impressions of Bran? Because I mean, a lot of it, like, people have been equating it to like a time loop in and of itself, because time has already been shifted and changed. We just don't know to what depths that Bran has already done, and it's like he doesn't even know. And it's like, now the things that he does, they have already caused a process. But if he shifts something else, does it really change anything? And that's a whole nother mythological, and I don't know, it's just awesome. This is awesome. But I don't know, what was your impression of Bran?
I mean, yeah, I thought when, I don't know what episode it was, where he calls his dad's name, or says dad, and Ned turns around because he like heard something, and then I was like, at that point I'm like, wait a minute, can he change time? Is there some sort of, and people were like, no, and then obviously something's going on. So I don't know, it just seems like obviously that had already happened, or that was supposed to happen. Like, Hodor was supposed to, I don't know, someone made a comment saying that Hodor knew all his life how he was going to die. Like, he just couldn't say anything. And I don't know if that's true, if that's just speculation, if that's just people's thoughts on it. Like what do you think? Do you think he knew, like, his purpose?
Yeah, I mean, I think he did, because he's always been the Bran's protector. And I think that impression literally was cemented in his head, but unfortunately it collapsed his mind to being able to only just say that one specific thing that just turned into his name. And it's so sad, because I think that, honestly, the Three-Eyed Raven knew that it was inevitable as well. Because, all honesty, like, when Bran touched him, I was like, why is the Three-Eyed Raven, like, why wouldn't he know this is going to happen? I think that there was no stopping Bran from falling into that connection with the White Walker King, and then getting marked, and then everybody, and another thing, everybody died. Like, everybody, freaking Summer, the wolf died, the freaking elves, chicks died, the children. It was so sad that I haven't even really processed all the deaths that happened, but I think that the Three-Eyed Raven knew that was going to happen. The weird thing for me is that it's like, what is really their connection, Bran and him?
Mhm.
Because I mean, it was all led up to this one specific moment, but what are the ramifications of everything that he's learned? And I don't know. It's such a mind part. Like it's hard. Where did Jarrell go?
I don't know.
He just
Technical difficulties, maybe
yeah,
again.
probably. But I guess we can talk about some other stuff. So, what was some other stuff in this episode that you really enjoyed?
Man, I
Because
don't
it's so much.
so much. I mean, like I said when we were just talking, like I think this was my favorite episode of all time. It just from beginning to end, they did a great job with this one. And I mean, every episode is good. I think Game of Thrones just is amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, like all the brand scenes, I'm always excited to see what they're gonna show next, you know. And like Jarrell said, him walking through with all the zombies or whatever you want to call them,
Yeah.
they were like the part where he is like the White Walker king or whatever, he just looks at him and then everybody's looking at him. I was like, no way. So
Yeah.
I didn't know. And then yeah, him grabbing him. And what does that mean? What's the significance of him touching him? Because he's got that mark now.
Yeah,
What is
that was the thing that I wanted to pull in a theory that the three-eyed raven and Bran might be the same exact person, because the whole thing is the White Walker ended up killing the three-eyed raven, right?
Yeah.
Why did he target him? Why didn't he continue to go and try to pursue Bran? And that's the thing. Like I've never seen the three-eyed raven's arms, so I can't sit there and say, you know, that's Bran or not. It's just a small theory that I have, but I was like, it would make sense that all this entire time that he would know now where he was. Why would three-eyed raven not be able to mask this? Why is it just Bran? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know, but I can definitely say that there is going to be some ramifications of that later on. But then the other thing is the children created the White Walkers to protect themselves from men. And that was a whole nother thing.
Yeah, that was crazy. That's exciting. I didn't ever think they were going to show us how they were created, or you know, who created them.
Yeah.
And my sister, I mean my sister, my friend's sister, she was saying something about, she's heard something about that he may even be related to the Starks or something.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've heard that or that's true.
Yeah, I have heard that. And I think that they're going to have like a lot more flashback moments, kind of like they did initially. Because for them to go and have a flashback showing Ned Stark's dad, and then showing Ned Stark, and it's like, I think that they're going to go even further back. And I just don't know the depths of Bran's like characteristics of his powers. I really just don't know. But another moment I was going to bring up to you and Jarrell, I'll probably wait for him to get back so he can comment, but is Sansa was really strong in this episode, because one of the more harsher episodes for me was definitely the sixth episode of the 5th season, which is her wedding night. Like that destroyed me a lot of different ways. But for her to really challenge Littlefinger and saying, you were supposed to be my protector, you tell me. It shows so much more depth to her strengths and her cunningness, because she lied to Jon. She's platforming certain things, kind of like her mother would do.
Right.
I just worry that it might be another situation, kind of like the Red Wedding, because that's what it was in the beginning. And so I don't know. What was your take on Sansa in this episode?
Well, I'm gonna be posting my review soon. It's just taking me a while, but she's very strong. Like I was very impressed with her, and I was kind of saying, like, it looks like Jon is taking a back seat. He's sitting back and letting his sister have all the control. And you know, she's been with like Cersei, she's been with Joffrey, Peter Baelish, she's been with Marjorie, she's been with people who are very smart, very powerful, and she's picked up on everything. So you know, it could be it could be a double-edged sword with that too, because obviously those are not, they're kind of evil people. But I think that's helped her. And then, you know, her mom is very smart too. So I like where they're taking her character for sure.
Yeah, I think that at this point, her and him need each other. I think Jon and Sansa really need each other because, like you said, like she's got all the political stuff and the rules aspect, and he's the warrior. I mean, he is the ultimate warrior that literally gave his life and still giving his life, even though he doesn't want to do it anymore. And I think that he needs her to keep him balanced, to keep pushing, and she needs his strength to have a reason to fight. It's like she always has been a fighter. I've always seen that about her. It's been really arrogant and really like sassy, but she's always been that fighter, you know. And now I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see where things go. But even Arya, I enjoy her character so much. Like she is going to be such an awesome warrior. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I mean, when you brought up the red wedding situation, I can see that happening too. Like everyone's getting so confident, too many good things are kind of happening, and they might be going into another trap or something like that. With the Sansa situation and Arya too. I've liked her character. I think she was one of my favorite characters in the beginning seasons. I don't know if it was season 3. It's when she meets Jaqen, she got to be with Jaqen, Tywin, like so many, the Hound, like all these awesome characters. Like she got to kind of go all over. So I always liked where they were taking her. But yeah, she's like an assassin now.
Yeah, but she's gone through so much though. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that Sansa hasn't, but like Arya just been on her own. She doesn't even know, or she didn't know at one point, like if any of her family was alive. So it's like her literal reason for being was just to take vengeance on all the people that did this in her. And it's interesting watching her training. She's getting more powerful. She's getting more cunning. But at the same time, she's still keeping that cemented in her head. Because it's like when you saw the little play, I was like, I felt bad about that whole play. I was like, this is terrible. Like, how would I deal with this? I mean, I might end up going hurting somebody out there myself.
Yeah, me too, actually. I was surprised. I was like, oh man, not Ned. Don't talk like that about him.
Yeah.
But
it's gonna be interesting to see where all these characters go. Did you look at the preview for the next episode? I didn't. Like I was too emotionally affected, so I didn't look at the preview.
I did, but I don't know if I was all there when it happened because I can't really remember what's gonna happen next episode.
It's like it doesn't even matter. This episode was just
Hodor.
Yeah, dude, hold the door, bro.
I know.
Oh my gosh, like that will never be the same.
No,
like
I don't know.
Only Game of Thrones can make a character so insignificant, always been there,
right?
And literally have such a payoff at the very end of his. I mean, because like Walking Dead does that all the time. They, butter a character up, get him having a time to shine, but there's never that real cemented need or essence of that character, of the validity of their life and their death. And it's like, it's there. It's all there, and everybody died.
Everybody died. Yeah. Was that the last of those? Are they tree people? I don't know what they're called. The children. Yeah. Was that the last of them?
I think she was the last one, and she sacrificed herself. Like, dude, she was getting stabbed.
I know. I was like, whoa.
Torn alive.
They're vicious. Like,
I mean, dude, like, other thing is these White Walkers are better zombies than the zombies on
if they were in The Walking Dead, our group would be gone. Like like they wouldn't be alive at all.
Yeah, like if there was one, White Walker King there, especially the one that could do this, that's it. That's it, because I mean, dude, I don't know. I'm not ragging down on Walking Dead. Walking Dead is one of my favorite shows still.
Me too.
But this show has worked me to the bone, and like, Like I'm sitting there, okay, this is my first episode, like live, and this is my experience. I was thinking they're gonna take it easy on me, but
Right.
they didn't. They sit there and hit my emotional strings and like played me like a fiddle. Oh my gosh! But another thing I was gonna bring up was Tyrion, Varys, and the new witch.
Yeah, we'll call her a witch. Yeah.
She knows a lot about Varys, and she's.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never seen Varys that scared, ever.
Yeah.
Like he was totally out of his comfort zone. He was totally out of control, and it was sad. Because I was like, I remember when he told Tyrion that story about, the guy that did that to him, and he hearing the voice, he never knew what it was. And I feel like whatever that voice is going to play a role, kind of like what's going on with the White Walkers. I don't know. I was going to see your opinion about that moment.
Yeah, I think that it was, I cut out a lot from my reaction because the ending, there's so much that happens. I put, is JOR-ELS back?
Hodor.
So yeah, I mean, I cut out that part, but I said that too. I said I'd never seen Varys that scared ever. Like he knows, he's like 2 steps ahead all the time. Yeah. And so she looks like she's more powerful than Melisandre. So I just don't trust any of them. Like those red women witch things. I don't like them. I don't like her already.
Yeah.
So,
and she got like that locket over her neck too, so she
better like, keep that on. She better keep it on. That would be another nightmare.
Yeah, JOR-ELS, welcome back, man.
Yeah, sorry. Internet melted.
Nah, that's all good, man. We know we've all been there. We were bringing up Varys, Tyrion, and the new Red Witch lady. What was your take on that moment, like having Varys like out of his element, basically?
I thought it was a great moment and a great ploy by Tyrion. But I guess sort of enlisting her help, so to speak. But I thought that was great. I think that's the only time that I can recollect that Varys has ever been sort of stumped by a person or kind of put in his place. She was getting kind of brutal with the whole fire thing and the voice. Yeah, that was messed up. So I thought that was a solid moment for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, we literally talked around the corner. Was there anything else you wanted to bring up about the episode, JOR-ELS, since you've been gone so long?
Yeah. I mean, let me just
hold
think.
on.
I guess I'll have to just bullet point things. I thought where we left off with Daenerys was great. With her and Jorah, that was interesting. Kind of seeing her finally open up to him. Yeah, that was kind of cool. I don't know if she did that in a friend way or something more than a friend way, but either way, it was cool. It seemed unclear, at least to me personally. I don't know what you guys thought about that.
I mean, she kind of left the door open in a lot of ways. That's the way I kind of interpreted it. But I mean, there's a real respect and a mutual love for her. Always been there, but it's like, I don't know, like she can't win this without him. She needs him. Period. Yeah. No matter what.
What else? The moment with Sansa, I thought was great because I've hated Sansa since like literally from her inception to meeting up with Jon Snow reincarnated or resurrected, I guess I should say. Because she's just always been really weak. But ever since she's gotten back with slicked back hair Jon Snow, things have been fantastic. So that's pretty cool.
Slicked back hair Jon.
Is there anything else that I missed? I feel like there's one. Arya's thing was kind of cool. I thought that the little theater play thing went on for just a touch too long, but it was interesting though.
Yeah. And it was brutal. Oh my gosh, that random nudity shot.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the dick. Yeah. I totally forgot about that. That's how you know this is a great episode. Full the first time, folks. First time we see full frontal penis right in our faces. And no one's talking about penis.
I know.
That's a great episode, you know. And the only thing that people are talking about is Hodor. They're talking about summer and Daenerys. No one brings up the penis. Nobody. Amazing. That's incredible to me.
That will be in my review, though. Actually, my friend, we did talk about, and maybe because we're girls, it stood out a lot to us, and we have an equality talk on nudity and.
Yeah, so it's. I guess we're gonna be getting full frontals from both sexes.
From Jon, well, maybe even. We'll see. You never know.
They missed that opportunity, I think.
Yeah, when he was like, yeah.
Right, I agree.
That,
Missed that opportunity.
Where did this conversation go?
I don't know. Let's take it right back.
People in the chat are like, "That was hot. What the heck? What are y'all talking about? Let me turn this back around."
Yeah,
yeah.
So,
We're sorry about the whole penis thing. It's a fun fact. You know what this reminds me of? Shout out to you people who've seen 500 Days of Summer when they were just like, penis! But anyway, all right. I guess the last thing that I'll say is that well, first off, can we just end this whole? I don't understand why there's a small sect of people that are like, well, maybe Hodor's still alive. It's like, nah. I'm willing to bet the house that not only is he dead, but he's like that. That's all she wrote. Like he's not.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, the worst thing that they could do is make him a White Walker.
That's what I thought too.
That'd be the worst thing that would literally mess me up. But he's gone.
Yeah. I think he's just.
That'd be like torturing us if he came back as a zombie or a walker.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dang, man. All right. But anyway, we're kind of running long. What is everybody's ratings for this episode?
Ooh.
I gave it a 9 out of 10 when I first finished the episode, but I'm giving it a 10 as a matter of fact. This is quite literally on par with the Red Wedding. It's just different.
Yeah.
I agree. I give it a 10 too. 10 out of 10. It's perfect.
Yeah, I literally had the same exact thing happen to me. I was reviewing it, and I initially gave it a 9. I wanted to upgrade it to a 9.5, but it was the more I realized, just like a movie or a book, something that has a lasting effect on you is deserving of nothing less than, perfection, because that's the whole point of, art in and of itself, is to get that effect to you. So, I mean, it did that. I mean, performances by the little kid that played Hodor did a great job. I mean, everybody was bringing it this episode. Sansa was a strong character, finally. And, I mean, I don't even care what happens next. This episode defines something for the series. That's the thing. I don't care what happens next.
I agree. Yeah.
This is the biggest thing that's happened so far this season, and there's been some huge moments this season. That's crazy to me. I'm just... I think... what I'm going to end off on is that the thing that really got me is that it's yo, George has really thought this through, but from way back, he had to have thought about this way early in the first book, you know what I mean? So I think even as he was getting halfway into the first book, he already knew the end game.
Yeah.
At least half of it, So that's just wow. That's nuts.
Yeah, it's what more, can happen?
I know. How can they top it?
And is there other Hodors, metaphorically speaking? Is there other things around us that are like Hodor, things having been affected by Bran that we're not aware of currently?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good question too.
That is a good question.
Yeah, because we don't know the inception of Jon Snow. We know, the concept behind it, but we don't know how it happened, how his dad met with, his mom. And I think that there's going to be some kind of connection with that. Just when they showed the guy that had gotten, killed and Bran saw it, and then he talked with his dad, and his dad heard him. I think that there's going to be something to do with Jon. And I think that'd be interesting, to be quite honest. But, I don't know. We'll see. But everybody in the chat, thanks everybody for coming checking us out. Thanks for your ratings and leave a like below. But more than anything, definitely go to the description bar below. Check out Amon's channel. Awesome content, awesome reviews, awesome reactions. Same thing with Jarrell, movies that he directs and makes, reactions, magic. He's got it all. Definitely go to the description bar below. Check out JOR-ELS Alexandria. And we'll be back on Wednesday, hopefully, for Fear the Walking Dead. We'll give y'all our input on that for the good or the bad. And we'll also be coming back next Monday for another episode, live discussion. Keep it locked. Y'all have a blessed night. I'll talk to y'all soon.
Peace out, y'all.
Bye.
Peace.